Are you comfortable? You look very comfy. Good. There's a blanket over there if you'd like it. I know it's a bit chilly today. I have another short story for you. Well, it's kind of a mix of a short story and a poem. And I think you'll probably recognise the author. This is King John's Christmas, and it's by A. Milne. Yes, the wonderful A. Milne who wrote Winnie the Pooh. So, let's get into it. King John was not a good man. He had his little ways, and sometimes no one spoke to him for days and days and days. And men who came across him when walking in the town gave him a supercilious stare, or passed with noses in the air, and bad King John stood dumbly there, blushing beneath his crown. King John was not a good man, and no good friends had he. He stayed in every afternoon, but no one came to tea. And round about December, the cards upon his shelf, which wished him lots of Christmas cheer and fortune in the coming year, were never from his near and dear, but only from himself. King John was not a good man, yet had his hopes and fears. They'd given him no present now for years and years and years. But every year at Christmas, while minstrels stood about, collecting tribute from the young for all the songs that might have sung, he stole away upstairs and hung a hopeful stocking out. King John was not a good man. He lived his life aloof. Alone he thought a message out while climbing up the roof. He wrote it down and propped it against the chimney stack. To all and sundry, near and far, F. Christmas in particular, and signed it not Johannes R., but very humbly, Jack. I want some crackers, and I want some candy, and I think a box of chocolates would come in handy. I don't mind oranges, I do like nuts, and I should like a pocket knife that really cuts. And oh, Father Christmas, if you love me at all, bring me a big red Indian rubber ball. King John was not a good man. He wrote this message out and gat into his room again, descending by the spout. And all that night he lay there, a prey to hope, some fears. I think that's him a-coming now. Anxiety bewedded his brow. He'll bring one present anyhow, the first I've had in years. Forget about the crackers, and forget the candy. I'm sure a box of chocolates would never come in handy. I don't like oranges, I don't want nuts, and I have got a pocket knife that almost cuts. But oh, Father Christmas, if you love me at all, bring me a big red Indian rubber ball. King John was not a good man. Next morning, when the sun rose up to tell a waiting world that Christmas had begun, and people seized their stockings and opened them with glee, and crackers, toys and games appeared, and lips with sticky sweets were smeared, King John said grimly, as I feared, nothing again for me. I did want crackers, and I did want candy. I know a box of chocolates would come in handy. I do love oranges, I did want nuts. And oh, if Father Christmas had loved me at all, he would have bought a big red Indian rubber ball. King John stood by the window and frowned to see below the happy bands of boys and girls all playing in the snow. And while he stood there watching and envying them all, when through the window big and red there hurtled by his royal head and bounced and fell upon the bed an Indian rubber ball. And oh, Father Christmas, my blessings on you fall. for bringing him a big red Indian rubber ball. So it looks like King John, for all of his wishing and wanting, got his wish. Very sweet. I'll see you tomorrow.